Jeffery Combs, President and Founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, with a millionaire tip for you on this beautiful evening. Here is the tip for you. It's turning a hobby into an asset. Now, as children, we all had toys. We all had some hobbies. Remember the first science project you had? Well, I started collecting baseball cards as a kid, baseball cards, football cards, and eventually basketball cards. And the love of that turned into a love of collecting autographs. I got my first Mickey Mantle autograph when I was 5 years old, and I've been collecting autographs ever since. Now, one of the purposes of me becoming a millionaire is I wanted to have an autograph collection that I was proud of. And over the last several years, I've been building my collection to it's one of the greatest sports collections of 8x10 autograph of NFL and college football players. I'm just going to share with you a little bit about how to turn something you're passionate about and love into an asset. Over here, I have some of my NFL football players. You see the New York Giants. There's the great Frank Gifford, Y.A. Tittle. Now, this is one room in my assistant Keith Margison's office. And as you'll see, I have some of the greatest football players in the history of the National Football League. There is Johnny Unitas. Here we have some great college players. And as Keith is panning this, right here we have the great actor, Mr. Mark Harmon. Now, Mark Harmon went on to star in Saint Elsewhere and many, many other television and movie productions. And most people don't know that Mark Harmon was once a UCLA quarterback. And I was able to contact Mark through his agent, and he personalized it to Jeff. Here's the great Paul Hornung in a Notre Dame uniform. Then we have the great Lou Holtz, Ara Parseghian, and all the great Notre Dame quarterbacks through the 60s and 70s. Now just follow me. I'm going to show you some of the most interesting sports collectible autographs in the history of sports memorabilia. We're going to go right out here into a bigger room that I have. Now this is the Millionaire's Playpen. And I have autographs from all era. Here's one of my most coveted autographs of all time, the great Pistol Pete Maravich. Now, this autograph is one of the most coveted autographs in sports memorabilia history because Pete died of a hole in his heart right around age 50 years old, so he didn't sign a lot of autographs. Scarcity creates abundance. So Pete Maravich, and then right behind it, I have a letter that his father Press wrote to his uncle in my collection. Here's one of the most interesting autographs I just recently collected, the great Tim Foley. Now, what's interesting about Tim Foley, he had a distinguished NFL career, but he also was one of the top football players in the 1972 Super Bowl team, the Miami Dolphins. And Tim went on to be an exceptional entrepreneur, one of the top income earners in one of the greatest network marketing companies in the history of the industry. He became a multimillionaire, and one of my good clients, Alyssa Smith, through her 6 degrees of separation, was able to assist me in getting that sports autograph. Now we're just going to step back here, and we're going to kind of pan the wall here, and you're going to see all the autographs I have on some of the walls. This is my Joe Montana collection. I have almost every autograph that Joe Montana signed on an 8x10. I have several Notre Dames. Here's the bench he signed. He signed the bench in the Chicken Soup Bowl, in the Cotton Bowl in 1977 when they were down 34-12 at halftime, and Joe brings them back, and there's a little piece of that bench that Joe signed. Now over on this wall is just filled with NFL greats from the 70s. We have exceptional people like Paul Krause, who's in the Hall of Fame. We have all the Los Angeles Rams before they moved to St. Louis. We have many, many autographs. I'm going to step right in over here. Take a look over here, Keith. Here's some of the great Washington Redskins. And as you'll see, there's pinball machines and all kinds of memorabilia. And now I'm going to wrap it up with one of the most interesting portions of my collection. This is the Heisman Trophy Room. On this wall, I have 8x10 autographs of the Heisman trophies. Now, the Heisman Trophy came into existence in 1935, and if you're a novice, what that means is the Heisman Trophy goes to the top collegiate football player picked by the Sports Writers Association of America and whoever votes for the Heisman Trophy. And since 1935, you figured out that 65 years plus 10, 75 Heisman Trophies have been awarded. I have 68 of the Heisman Trophy winners in their college uniforms autographed. Here's just a few of the most interesting. Jay Berwanger, 1935, up in the corner there. The great Tom Harmon, 1940. Now, I don't have the autographs between 36 and 1940. I don't have 41 and 42, but I have 43, starting with Angelo Bertelli, all the way up to Dick Kazmaier from Yale. I do not have 1952 Billy Vessels. That is to be determined. And I have every Heisman Trophy winner from 1952 all the way up to 2010, with the exception of the great Ernie Davis. Now, you may remember Ernie Davis was that movie that they did just recently. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1963 at Syracuse University, and unfortunately Ernie passed of leukemia a year after he won the Heisman Trophy. Once again, he had very few autographs. Here we have my 49er collection, some of my favorites. Over here we have some greats. And stepping right over here, we have some of the most coveted autographs in professional football. Norm Van Brocklin. We have the great Norm Van Brocklin, a very rare autograph. Sammy Baugh, Slingin' Sammy Baugh. We have Sammy. We have Red Grange, the galloping ghost of the Fighting Illini, the great Red Grange. We have Bobby Lane, the indomitable one, the great Bobby Lane. Now, I'm going to wrap this up real quick. I'm going to show you just one of my most valuable autographs. Now, this is sports memorabilia, but one of my most valuable autographs is the great Roger Maris. Once again, scarcity creates value. The great Roger Maris, that autograph is worth 5 figures. Now, these are just a few of my collectibles. Now, take a look at this one. This one is the one that means the most to me. This is the great Curt Flood. For any of you baseball fans, you may remember that Curt Flood is the man who challenged the reserve clause. He took his case all the way to the Supreme Court in the early 1970s, challenged the reserve clause, and created free agency. Yes, I'll do this for every professional athlete. Every professional athlete in the world deserves to pay homage to the great Curt Flood. Notice that is signed with a Sharpie. Curt died of cancer at a very early age. Winning that battle broke his spirit. Now, the millionaire tip, I know this is lengthy, but here's what I wanted you to get, is that you want to take what you're doing in your enterprise, and you want to have fun in it, and you want to be able to collect some assets, because unfortunately our country is filled with citizens who have liabilities, and you want to take your for-profit organization and purchase some assets: gold, silver coins, sports memorabilia, car collections, situations that you can have fun collecting and turn them into profit. Jeffery Combs, president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, and you have a great day.